Damn you! Damn you! San Diego Comic-Con has fallen. But did it have to be this way? I say no! For all they had to do was create a comic convention a little friendlier to the casual comic book reader. That said, there are very few places on Earth where I can inappropriately rub up against Scarlett Johansson before her security tasers me and beats me up in an alley. That said, it's time for me to go someplace where I'll have peace. Man, nobody's going to get this call back. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to Comic Book Issues. I'm your host, the Last Angry Geek. We all have our favorite characters and even versions of those characters. But then we also have characters that we might not be fans of. I don't mean we hate them or anything, they're just not our cup of tea. But maybe we still have expectations of them. For me, one of those characters is the Incredible Hulk, but if anything, he's never been written the same way twice. While his first appearance was grayskin, the Hulk quickly became known as a green-skinned, gentle giant. However, one of the things Peter David did during his seminal run was to establish that the Hulk had multiple personalities of a sort. The gray-skinned Hulk became an intelligent mob enforcer known as Joe Fixit. The green-skinned Savage, Bruce Banner, and Joe all combined into an intelligent Hulk. The Hulk from Planet Hulk was intelligent but more of a savage warrior. Currently, in Mark Waid's run on Incredible Hulk, the Hulk is known as the Professor, a super-intelligent if morally bankrupt scientist. But then you've got the X-Men, who are some of my favorite characters. Now, it may be hard to believe, but the X-Men were once so unpopular that their book was cancelled. In the new title, Savage Hulk, writer-artist Alan Davis has combined the X-Men and the Hulk to tell a story that takes place just after the end of their final published issue. It's a true tale of the Savage Hulk meeting the classic team of mutants and a love letter to the Silver Age. This is Savage Hulk, issues 1 through 4. Savage Hulk, issues 1 through 4, is actually a sequel of sorts to X-Men 66, first published in March of 1970. The issue, by Roy Thomas and Sal Buscema, featured the original X-Men in their newer, more colorful outfits, as well as the more recent recruits Polaris and Havoc. Issue 66 was the last original issue of X-Men, whose waning popularity forced the series to go into reprints, although it was never outright cancelled. Original X-Men books would return with the launch of Giant Size X-Men #1 in 1975. The final issue saw Professor X in a coma after repelling an alien invasion. A clue leads the X-Men to Bruce Banner, trapped as his alter ego, the Hulk. Marvel Girl calms his mind, and Banner provides the X-Men with a device that revives Xavier, although the Professor is decidedly melancholy. He'll never be able to return the favor and rid Banner of the burden of being the Hulk. These 4 issues of Savage Hulk asks, what if he tried? Others had tried to cure Banner, most notably Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four and super psychiatrist Doc Samson. However, while the Hulk and Banner have been separated, no one's ever been able to put the Gamma Genie back in the bottle, as it were. The best they could do was exile him into space, but that blew up in everyone's face in World War Hulk. The question now is, will the mutants have any better luck? Issue 1 opens with the leader, the Hulk's super-intelligent archenemy, observing news reports of the X-Men's skirmish with the Hulk. He lip-reads Xavier from the video footage. The leader remembers that the collective human race was united to unleash a psychic pulse against an alien armada, driving them off. Shortly thereafter, the X-Men confronted the Hulk, and the leader monitored a burst of gamma radiation in Westchester, New York, at a private school run by one Charles Xavier. In the Nevada desert, the army continues to bombard the Hulk with long-range missiles, specifically designed to take him down, painfully. He buys himself time by smashing one of the mobile missile-launching vehicles. While at their home in Westchester, the X-Men urge Professor X to rest after his coma, but Xavier pushes on, studying the device Banner gave them to treat mental exhaustion. Bruce meant to cure himself with the device, but believed it would be incomplete without a telepathic element. They need to recharge the device because, after his last exposure, Professor X sensed the torment that Banner is in. Charles won't be able to rest until he's cured Bruce of being the Hulk. Alone in the desert and mesmerized by the beauty of the night sky, the Hulk finally relaxes and changes back to Bruce Banner. Oh yes, it's 11 p.m. The Hulk has retreated back into human form, and the ladies brew a mean batch of cocktails. Welcome to Banner After Dark. Tonight we'll be interviewing my science brother from another mother, Tony Stark. We'll be listening to a song from Harry Connick Jr., and the X-Men will be stopping by to try and cure me from this never-ending hell I find myself trapped in. All on Banner After Dark. As the X-Men try to excavate Banner's mountain lab, Bruce is scavenging clothes in an RV camp. The Army's attack on the Hulk has scared off all the other campers, but the remaining couple invite Bruce to dinner at their RV. Cyclops takes Havoc, Iceman, and Angel to capture the Hulk, so Marvel Girl can psychically sedate him. This is all observed by a lizard with a built-in series of lenses in its head. Bruce's peaceful meal is interrupted by the Army. As the explosions come nearer, Bruce's self-control slips and he begins to transform. The X-Men detect a gamma radiation signature, one that's closing in on them but fast. However, they're shocked to see it's not the Hulk but his Russian counterpart, the Abomination, pursued by missiles. The X-Men try to take him down, but his mind is too different from the Hulk's for Jean Grey's mental powers to work the same way twice. Iceman freezes the monster as the other X-Men begin detonating the missiles. Angel realizes their gamma detector locked onto the Abomination, just as the missiles did, because the Hulk has somehow escaped the Army. Hearing they have a Hulk detector, Abomination tries to force them to use it to lead him to the Hulk. Bruce apologizes to the elderly couple as he does his best to hold back the transformation. It buys them time to get in their RV and run off before he turns into the Hulk. Just as the Abomination is about to crush Marvel Girl, the Hulk arrives to fight him. Major Talbot, lead of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., knows they're out of missiles but can't return empty-handed, so he orders the Army to move in on the two gamma-radiated blockbusters. Abomination demands that the Hulk acknowledge him as being stronger, but the Hulk just ends up punching him into a mountain.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt!
Hi, kids. Hey, want to make a cheap laugh? Then why not try the power of overly comedic mispronounced accents? Just tweak the words a bit and soon everyone won't be laughing with you, they'll be laughing at you. He tosses the Abomination to the approaching Army, giving Talbot an excuse to stop their pursuit of the Hulk and incarcerate the Abomination. Seeing the couple's RV flee the area causes the Hulk to feel sad, and he reverts to Dr. Banner. Back at his lab, the X-Men are ready for him, even as the leader observes. Professor X convinces Banner to submit to the previously unsuccessful treatment, but this time the Professor will mentally control the process. Xavier helps Banner remain calm, even as his Hulk persona attempts to resist being cured. Jean tries to help but gets sapped by a gamma overload, causing her to Hulk out. Bruce theorizes that the Hulk's gamma radiation is transferred to Marvel Girl and is causing her telekinesis and body to grow out of control.
Hey, you have to hand it to superhero costumes. They can rip, tear, even shred, but they know where to stop. Damn it.
Professor X tries to psychically calm her down, but the X-Men stop him. She's fine. The initial transformation caused a bit of an outburst, but with her enhanced mind, she can now manipulate matter at an atomic level, as evidenced by her creation of a new uniform. The male X-Men all seem smitten with the new Jean. Before Xavier can even question her, Marvel Girl uses her telekinesis to yank him out of his chair and voices concern that she might be manipulating them. He wants to examine her, but she angrily tells him she wants to be left alone. The X-Men back her up. They're tired of being his pawns. Before Professor X can reason with them, a large explosion rocks the laboratory. An army of robots follows and the X-Men attack. Banner gets Xavier out of the way despite Charles's protests. Xavier telepathically orders the X-Men to retreat, but Bruce tells them they won't. However, he shouldn't have heard Xavier's telepathy. Things fall into place for the Professor. He and Banner are still mind-linked. Realizing he's inside Bruce's mind, he sees a mental construct of the gamma bomb test that made him the Hulk. Banner tries to get him into the trench, recreating the moment that left Bruce as the Hulk, but Xavier resists, struggling first with an adult, then a young Bruce Banner, before being doused in gamma radiation that turns Professor X into a true Hulk. Xavier refuses to be duped by Bruce's mind, but is then attacked by a series of Hulk foes. Beaten down, Bruce Banner suggests that Charles Xavier's own subconscious is throwing these obstacles in his way. They're being distracted by a vision of a giant Bruce Banner fighting off the various incarnations of the Hulk he's mutated into over the years. A manifestation of the struggle he spent years fighting in his own mind. Bruce realizes his brain is being supercharged by the device meant to cure him. The Hulk part of his persona is generating all these enemies to force Professor Xavier away and keep from being destroyed. Banner makes a decision for Charles to end things. Besides, he thinks the robot attack was real, an external event incorporated into his mind. Professor X awakens to find a bomb strapped to his chest and sees the X-Men likewise restrained. The leader is there. If Xavier attempts to take over his mind, the bomb the Professor is wearing goes off. The leader has come to drain all the extra gamma radiation being generated by Banner's body. The leader explains that Banner is trapped in stasis, his cells bursting with gamma energy at the moment of transformation into the Hulk. The device has trapped the transformation energy in a loop, slowly building up to dangerous levels. Xavier tries to telepathically speak to Marvel Girl, but she's transferred her mental link to Cyclops, just in case the leader anticipated that. Jean is now using Angel's eyes to see her restraints and undoing them with her telekinesis. The leader demands to know what Professor X did to the device and threatens to have his robots pull off Angel's wings if he doesn't comply. However, as this is going on, Banner slowly transforms into the Hulk and reawakens. The Hulk breaks free of his chair, unleashing telekinesis as he does. Xavier realizes that Bruce's brain, in its struggle to contain the ever more powerful Hulk, has likewise grown stronger, and it's Bruce who unleashed the telekinetic attack. The leader decides to cut his losses and orders his robots to kill the X-Men and the Hulk. With his brain now giving the leader a run for his money, the Hulk realizes the leader is actually a drone, sent to oversee the operation so that the real leader could remain out of danger. The Hulk feeds a power surge from his mind into the robot duplicate, blowing out the leader's lab and knocking the villain out. Still caught in the ever-growing power loop, the Hulk is about to destroy the device. Professor X pleads with him not to. They can try to cure him again, but the Hulk smashes the device. Cyclops takes charge and forces the Professor to leave as the Hulk finishes off the leader's robots. The Hulk unleashes one last gigantic telekinetic attack and destroys the laboratory. He breaks out of the collapsed mountain, having burned off the excess gamma radiation. He heads towards the X-Men, but Xavier orders them to stand down. There's a tense moment as they wait to see what the Hulk will do. Finally, he screams in Xavier's face before jumping off. Iceman is relieved that the Professor managed to telepathically calm down the Green Giant, but Xavier did nothing. It was Bruce Banner controlling the monster from the inside.
Geek won't be left alone. We pros, cons of Savage Hulk. If bad book, Geek smash! If good book, Geek recommend to friends. Here then is closer look at Savage Hulk, issues 1 through 4.
What can I say about Alan Davis's art that I haven't said before? I reviewed it in the Avengers and 2012 Marvel Summer Annual reviews. He's a classic artist who's been plying his trade for well over 30 years. He's great at expressions, physiology, backgrounds, and inanimate props. In other words, Alan Davis is a great artist, but is he a great writer? It was interesting that this book was set immediately after the X-Men's cancellation. I can pretty much imagine Davis being given a blank check of sorts for this first story of a new Hulk series. But with 8 mutants, 3 gamma-radiated monsters, and numerous supporting characters, the cast is a little bloated. With the X-Men, the ones Davis focuses on are Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Beast, and of course Professor X. In fact, this is even more a Professor X story than the Hulk. Xavier just wants to help. In fact, his whole life has been dedicated to helping people find a way to control their lives. And given that the Hulk is essentially a fractured personality, the Professor seems uniquely suited to help the Hulk. But the Hulk is so overwhelmingly strong, Xavier is, by the end of the story, forced to realize that for once he can't help someone. The rest of the X-Men are there for the occasional wisecrack and action scene, but they're pretty much relegated to being Professor X's enforcers in this story, and that's a shame. If anyone can identify with the Hulk's desire to live in peace while being hunted by a world that hates and fears him, it's Marvel's mutant heroes. As for the villains, neither the Abomination or the Leader was very impressive. Abomination just kind of shows up out of nowhere and for no reason other than his appearance unites the Hulk and X-Men. Once he's beaten, he's out of the story. As for the Leader, his motivations aren't really clear. He wants to create a gamma battery out of the Hulk's irradiated psychic energy. It's a bit confusing. They never explain what he's going to do with it. Then they pull the old, oh, it was an android all along gag. What works best out of everything in this book is the Hulk. Each writer likes to put his own spin on the Hulk. But for me, the infrequent Hulk fan, the best Hulk is the shy, dim monster. The best way to describe why this Hulk works is to refer you to a Superman story, where he travels for the first time to New Genesis, home of the new gods. He tries to save a woman from a falling tower, but will have just bounced off her, causing no real harm. They're all Supermen here, and thus his heroics weren't needed. To me, the best version of the Hulk is the exact opposite of that story. The Hulk is Superman who finds himself in a world where everything is extremely fragile and delicate. Because of his immense strength, he can't help but cause destruction and chaos wherever he goes, regardless of his intentions. And because of the damage he can't help but cause, he's constantly hunted and attacked in a perpetual loop of never-ending suffering. The Hulk is Superman in a world of super-intelligent tissue paper. Everyone's smarter than him, and everything he touches he destroys. To me, the Hulk is much too volatile to be joining teams and would never take orders from anyone.
And Hulk. Smash.
He's the restless soul constantly searching for peace in a world that's never going to give it to him. And that's what this book captures so well. On top of that, Davis never forgets the human equation of the Hulk, Bruce Banner. Banner is a man who desperately wants to rid himself of this curse, but knows, deep down, though he would never admit it to himself, that he's going to be stuck with it for the rest of his life. It's nice to see the Hulk interact with the X-Men, say, rather than the Avengers or Fantastic Four. This book was two corners of the Marvel Universe that normally steer clear of one another intersecting, and that's always fun.
I enjoyed this story for the interaction between Xavier and Banner. The art was top-notch as always, but it did suffer from some weak villains and a cast that was a little too large for its own good. I give The Savage Hulk, issues 1 through 4, 3.5 stars out of 5. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time here on Comic Book Issues. I'm your host, The Last Angry Geek.
Hey everyone, I just want to remind you to check out my Patreon page at the address below. You can go there, subscribe, but you can also subscribe how much you give. You don't have to give any more than you want to. But with that money, I can get better equipment, I can get rid of the mid-roll ads, I can just make Comic Book Issues a much better show. What do you get out of it? Well, you can get early access to my shows, your name in the credits, even me reviewing the Doctor Who or comic book story of your choice. So please, check it out.